Welcome to this assignment number 3, designing and considering the ethical and privacy implications of a new machine learning model for small restaurants. So let's talk about task analysis. So what is the problem? Small restaurants often struggle to identify which menu items are truly high performing due to limited data analysis capabilities. This leads to missed revenue and inefficient menu decisions. So what are some of the key tasks? The main task would be to determine which menu items contribute most to the profitability and customer satisfaction. This can be done by analyzing various points such as dish prices, ingredients costs, prep times, sales frequencies, and customer ratings. So when we talk about task analysis, the current method often involves manual data review, spreadsheets, or sometimes guesswork or predictions. Most of the decisions may be based on personal preference or incomplete information. This can often lead to inaccuracies in data and the model. Also, there is no consistent way to weigh multiple factors, for example, the cost efficiency, the popularity, as well as the seasonality of the dishes. So how to improve the task's insights? One way is to create a model which can automate this task, which will use machine learning, can streamline the workflow and reduce human error. The model simplifies the decision-making process and segments the data into 3. So the first one is keep, so it keeps the menu item. Promote means to promote the menu item, and remove means to remove the item because it's not performing well. The other point is the ability to have a new and improved user-friendly dashboard, which would reduce the overall cognition and the load. As well, it'll be able to analyze the metrics, and this can save a lot of time for the restaurant owner and help them improve their business decisions and their productivity as well. In terms of the user experience, how the users will interact, the owner and the restaurant managers will interact via 2 things. There'll be an app and there'll be an integrated point of sale system. They'll have a feature to upload data manually, such as that of previous data, sales data in Excel or CSV format, which can be analyzed and also be connected to the points of sales data, which can also be streamed to get insights and analyze trends as well. The system will process, label, and categorize the dishes based on the 3 categories that we mentioned: keep, promote, or remove. The user will also have the ability to click on any dish to see a breakdown of the factors influencing the classification. There's also customers should be able to rate the dishes, and they should be able to give feedback, and this rating should be shown underneath each dish or beside it, so people get an idea of their customer ratings and their feedbacks. So the next point is, what are the AI and user experience design considerations? So we speak about user input and feedback loops. The user of the system can input data such as historical sales data, ingredient cost, prep time, consumer ratings, and dish categories. And then after all those are in, the user also has the ability to receive the predictions. They can also approve or reject suggestions and also feedback additional data into the system to improve the model accuracy over time, and also to improve the way the model behaves and analyzes the data. The next point is transparency. So this provides an explanation for predictions using tools like analytic values or feature important graphs. So creating graphs or using the analytical features. So for example, it can show which dish was recommended the most, which dish is there for removal due to high costs and low customer ratings. So being transparent is being able to figure out how these play an impact on the overall cost and running of the restaurant. So now we talk about the user experience, and it's this continuation. So communicating uncertainty. In order to address this issue of uncertainty, there should be metrics such as showing confidence levels. For example, a dish has a 92% confidence interval. This means that the dish is performing well, and that means that it can be promoted on the menu. Also, in order to make better decisions and prioritize the dishes, we can use confidence intervals, or it would involve the steps of classifying the information and sorting it out and then prioritizing it based on the overall outcome or feedback. So this can be used and is very useful for strategic decisions. Also, when the predictions are less certain, there may be a need for communication and additional feedback. This will require some human intervention and will be required in order to enhance the overall communication process. Now we talk about privacy considerations. So what are the concerns? Most of the sales and performance data are highly sensitive for small businesses, and they could reveal insights such as revenue, sometimes competitor sensitive information. If the customer data is included, such as the names, emails, or phone numbers, this could infringe on customer rights or user rights, and it could impact their personal protection of information. Also, the relevant applicable laws. So some of the laws that would be relevant would be the California Consumer Privacy Act if you operate in the US. That requires consumers to be informed about what personal data is collected and how it's used. It also gives them the right to opt in and opt out and see if they can delete their data as well. There's also the Federal Trade Commission Act, which enforces penalties based on unfair practices and data usages. And if you're operating in like the European Union or areas in Europe, then there's like GDPR requirements, which also protect the data and privacy of the users, giving them the opportunity to opt out, delete, and appeal if they have any queries. Then comes the obligations. The obligations that must be taken into consideration, especially for the users, are outlining the privacy policies. So how users and customer data will be collected, used, protected, and sometimes third-party organizations utilize their data for marketing. So they should be transparency in order to know like where that data is going and whether data is being consumed as well. And then provide the users with various outputs to view, edit, or delete their data. And then also in terms of data protection and security to make sure to encrypt the data, as well as the data when it's being received, when payments are being made in transit, and also restrict or give like user roles in order to enhance the organizational security posture. Finally, the ethical considerations, the potential source of bias. Some dishes receive more feedback ratings because they are popular. This can sometimes skew the data. Sometimes new dishes or dishes that come out in seasonal variations may lack historical data, which can also lead to unreliable predictions. The model may favor specific items that may be niche items. Sometimes that can be cause for bias because of demographics or certain cultural aspects or different cultural norms, can also affect the way the data is. Then we have ethical AI goals. So first we want to talk about fairness. So this we want to make sure that all dishes are evaluated the same way using similar criteria so there's no biases. This includes like low performing dishes or dishes that are new on the menu. So this makes it sound that it's fair, like everything is like judged the same way and evaluated. The next point is in order to check the model is updated and bug free, it should be audited and tested often in order to check for accuracy and to confirm the model validity and to make sure there's less bias in the model. The next step is accountability. So make sure there are channels for customers and the owners to get a response such as the feedback in order to improve, like say the products, to address like customer issues, and to also make sure that all changes and data that are analyzed are versioned and are also kept and also archived. So in case there are any questions or queries that may result from it, people are able to take accountability. So like the owners and the users and the people who are responsible for like the management to be able to go back and see what the issues are and see what the problems are and then work from there instead of starting from the beginning. And then finally, transparency. So this is to make sure that any decision based on the model is transparent and everyone has update onto it. And everyone should also make sure that they know the strengths, the capabilities, including the users of the system and what the outputs are and what the functionalities are as well, and how their data will be used as well.